Have you ever wondered why the chosen ones walk alone? Why the path of the faithful is often solitary, and the weight of destiny rests quietly upon their shoulders, while the world seems to move in careless crowds? Listen, for this is not punishment, nor abandonment. This is the whisper of God, calling you into a space where your soul is refined, your purpose clarified, and your heart attuned to the voice of heaven. There is a reason the lonely road is the road of the chosen, and tonight, the veil lifts for those willing to hear. Have you ever felt the weight of the world pressing against your soul, and yet no one is there to share the burden? That silence is not emptiness, beloved, but the divine stage upon which God Himself speaks. The chosen ones walk alone because in the stillness, the Almighty crafts intimacy that cannot exist in the noise of crowds. He calls you into a sacred solitude where every distraction falls away. Every voice that would drown out His whispers is silenced, and your spirit is drawn into the quiet rhythm of heaven. It is here, in the depths of what feels like isolation, that God whispers the secrets of eternity directly into your heart. This is a calling so profound, so holy, that ordinary companionship could never sustain it. The world may see your path as lonely, may call it forsaken, may whisper that no one understands, but the truth is that God Himself has appointed this season. He says, "Child, I have set you apart. I have removed the ordinary voices so you can hear my extraordinary voice. The counsel of men will falter, the wisdom of the crowd will crumble, but my spirit will never leave you. In this solitude, you will discover the language of my heart, the patterns of my timing, the power that flows from faith unshaken." In this sacred aloneness, your heart begins to attune to the divine symphony that governs the universe. Each prayer whispered in secret, each tear shed in silence, each sigh of longing becomes a thread woven into the fabric of your destiny. You are being refined not by what you see, but by what God is revealing inside you. The loneliness is not rejection, it is preparation. It is the refining fire that polishes the gem of your soul until it shines with a brilliance that no light of the world can rival. You are being trained to walk in authority, to speak with power, to carry a faith so unshakable that the storms of life, the betrayal of friends, and the disbelief of nations cannot move you. Do not fear the silence, for it is the very place where heaven moves on your behalf. The Almighty says, "Walk with me and I will reveal mysteries that the multitudes will never comprehend. I am the unseen companion of your journey, the eternal friend of your soul, and the source of strength that will hold you when all others fail." In this season, the seeds of your destiny are taking root, and they will blossom in ways that will astonish the world. You may feel alone, but every step is accompanied by the hands of God guiding, guarding, and preparing you for the glory that is coming. Your aloneness is not a void. It is the womb of purpose, the secret garden where God cultivates greatness that cannot be rushed, cannot be borrowed, and cannot be stolen. Embrace it, cherish it, for in this sacred solitude, you are being transformed into a vessel worthy of the destiny that awaits. You walk alone also because the battles that forge the chosen are often invisible to those around you. Life does not fight in the light of crowds, nor does destiny announce itself in the applause of men. God's refining work occurs in the unseen, in the quiet corners where no one else is watching, where the flesh is weak and the spirit cries out for understanding. Every rejection, every betrayal, every silent tear is a hammer striking the steel of your faith, shaping resilience and courage that the world cannot comprehend. The Lord says, "I am fashioning you in the fires of adversity. What appears to be abandonment is my careful hand protecting you, shaping you, preparing you for battles that are too great for ordinary strength." Every moment of loneliness is a moment of training. Every sigh of longing is a step closer to the destiny I have set before you. You may look around and see no ally, no friend, no comfort, and the weight may feel unbearable. Yet God is with you in the stillness. He is walking beside you, unseen, unheard by human ears. yet every step you take is guided by His infinite wisdom. These trials are not random. They are divine design. They are the sacred curriculum of the chosen, a training ground where your faith is stretched beyond the familiar and planted firmly in the soil of the miraculous. You are learning endurance, patience, and trust at a level that cannot be taught in classrooms or borrowed from others. Each wound is a lesson, each setback a sermon, each lonely night a message from heaven saying, "Rise, child, for I am shaping you for greatness." You are being prepared to stand unshaken, unshaken in faith, unshaken in vision, and unshaken in the authority I have placed upon you. The battles you cannot yet see are already won in the spiritual realm, and your present solitude is the proving ground of victory. God is teaching you that to carry His purpose, you must first be trained to stand alone, to walk alone, to trust alone. And in that trust, when you finally step into the fullness of your calling, you will move mountains, part seas, and speak life into situations the world has already deemed hopeless. The chosen ones walk alone, not because they are forsaken, but because God is raising warriors, prophets, and vessels of glory who will carry His name with power, integrity, and unstoppable faith. This season of aloneness is not your prison. It is your sacred preparation, and when the time comes, the world will witness a faith born in the quiet, forged in fire, and perfected in the hands of the Almighty. You walk alone because your vision is too vast for those around you. The calling that stirs within your heart stretches beyond what ordinary eyes can see, beyond what familiar minds can comprehend. The dreams God has planted in your spirit are not meant for the comfort of crowds, nor for the understanding of companions who cannot perceive the weight of heaven upon your soul. God says, "I have placed within you a vision that will outshine generations. I have planted seeds that will grow into forests while the world is still counting blades of grass. Do not seek their approval, for their minds are too small to contain the grandeur I have written for you. Stand firm in the wilderness, and let your heart expand in the sacred silence. Here, in this holy solitude, you will learn the language of eternity, the cadence of my spirit, and the patience required to steward a purpose too magnificent to be hurried. Every step you take on this solitary path is a step deeper into revelation. Every struggle, every moment of misunderstanding, every sigh of frustration is refining your vision, sharpening your discernment, and preparing your spirit to lead in ways the crowd cannot yet follow. Your solitude is the fertile soil where divine insight takes root. God is shaping your mind to perceive opportunities, to hear whispers from heaven, and to recognize the divine orchestration in what others dismiss as coincidence. The world may see your aloneness as weakness, but it is in fact the crucible in which your insight, your wisdom, and your destiny are being perfected. The silence will teach you how to trust without validation, to move without applause, and to act with courage even when no one stands beside you. This is the making of a prophet, a leader, a vessel of heaven whose vision cannot be contained by ordinary expectations. God is calling you to embrace this aloneness, to let your heart grow in the stillness, and to carry the revelation that will illuminate the path for many who have yet to see the light. Do not fear that the world misunderstands you, for what God has begun in you is too grand for ordinary understanding. You are learning to walk in alignment with heaven, and in due time, the fruits of your solitary journey will astonish nations and generations alike. You are alone because loneliness is not a void. It is a sanctuary where faith is forged and purpose is revealed. God speaks into the silence saying, "I am with you when the world turns away. I am holding you when no hand reaches for yours. I am listening when your soul cries in the darkness, and every tear you shed becomes a river of blessing flowing into your destiny." In the quiet, the spirit learns to trust without evidence, to hope without applause, and to rise even when no one witnesses the struggle. This is the sacred training ground of the chosen, where the soul is molded, the heart is strengthened, and the character is refined. The trials you endure in solitude are not punishments, nor are they signs of neglect. They are the careful work of the Almighty sculpting you into a vessel capable of carrying His glory. Every rejection, every lonely night, every moment when despair seems near is a divine invitation to deepen your intimacy with God. The heavens are watching, and every silent prayer, every hidden tear, every whispered longing is catalogued by God Himself and transformed into spiritual power. You are learning to walk by faith, not by sight, to trust the unseen, not the familiar, to hope in the eternal, not the temporal. This is the preparation of a heart that will not be shaken by opposition, that will not be silenced by doubt, and that will not be broken by loneliness. You are being strengthened to stand unmovable, to speak boldly, and to shine brightly, even when the world believes you are invisible. The chosen ones walk alone so that their faith can rise like a beacon, their spirit can soar like an eagle, and their destiny can be revealed in full glory. God is teaching you that the power of the unseen is stronger than the praise of men, that divine intimacy is richer than human companionship, and that the victory prepared for you in heaven is far greater than any comfort you could find in the crowd. Your solitude is holy, your journey is sacred, and your faith will emerge unstoppable, radiant, and victorious. You are alone because God is awakening the power of your spirit, igniting a fire within you that the world cannot see, cannot understand, and cannot contain. He says, I am calling forth courage in you that has lain dormant, waiting for this moment of refinement. I am breathing into you a faith that will move mountains, a vision that will pierce darkness, and a strength that will defy the storms of life. In the quiet of your solitude, your spirit is learning to leap without fear, to trust without guarantee, and to rise without applause. The world may see weakness where God sees potential, may call your patience foolishness where He sees preparation, and may misunderstand your silence where He is orchestrating the symphony of your destiny. Every lonely hour is a forge where the sword of your soul is sharpened. Every tear, every sigh, every unanswered question is a hammer striking the steel of your faith, shaping a spirit that will not waver, bend, or break. God says, I am preparing you to stand in the presence of adversity and shine with my glory. Your courage will become a testimony, your faith will become a legacy, and your obedience will become a beacon for generations to follow. In solitude, you are becoming unstoppable. You may not see the fruit yet, but the seed has been planted. The power within you, the divine anointing, the spiritual strength is growing quietly, invisibly, until the appointed hour. You are being prepared to walk into situations where others flee, to speak words that heal when silence prevails, and to act with authority when doubt surrounds you. Your aloneness is not a punishment. It is the training ground for the extraordinary, the fire in. Your soul is being fanned by the Spirit, and it will one day blaze so brightly that all who witness it will know that God Himself has touched your life. Every step of isolation is a step closer to revelation. Every moment of waiting is a preparation for triumph, and every trial is a divine lesson in becoming all that God has called you to be. Embrace this awakening. Let it consume every fear, every doubt, and every hesitation. In your solitude, a power is rising that will shake the heavens and the earth alike. The road of the chosen is lonely because it is sacred, because it is set apart for a purpose too great for ordinary understanding. God says, I have hidden you, not to punish, but to prepare. I have veiled you from the distractions and the noise, for your destiny requires purity, focus, and vision that can only be birthed in solitude. Every step you take in isolation is a step toward greatness. Every moment spent in silence is a lesson in my timing. I am building within you resilience, clarity, and unwavering faith that will carry you to the heights I have prepared. The loneliness is not emptiness. It is the sacred chamber where your spirit is being fortified. Each night that feels heavy, each day that feels long, each moment when the world seems unaware of your struggle is a divine classroom where God Himself teaches you how to endure, how to trust, and how to rise with authority. In this sacred solitude, your soul learns to depend wholly on God, to speak with His wisdom, and to act with His power. You are being prepared to lead, to inspire, and to carry a message that will awaken hearts, ignite faith, and transform lives. The chosen walk alone because their hearts must be free from distraction, their spirits must be strong enough to endure, and their vision must be clear enough to guide others through darkness. God's hand is upon you, even when unseen, and His Spirit is moving in ways invisible to human eyes. What the world mistakes for isolation, God calls preparation. What feels like loneliness, God calls sanctification. And when the appointed moment arrives, you will emerge from the quiet transformed, empowered, and fully equipped to carry the weight of destiny with glory and honor. This is the road of the chosen. This is the path of the faithful. This is the divine journey that turns solitude into strength, trial into triumph, and faith into unshakable power. And know this, walking alone does not mean walking abandoned. God's eyes are upon you, His breath within you, His love surrounding you, even when the world seems distant and deaf. He says, though the crowds may turn away, though the familiar faces may fail to understand, I am with you. Every step you take in solitude is measured, watched over, and directed by my hand. You are never unseen, never unloved, and never without purpose. The world may whisper that you are alone, but I am the eternal companion of your soul. I am walking beside you in the shadowed valleys. I am lifting you in the storm, and I am breathing courage into your heart when your own strength feels spent. The chosen ones walk alone because God is preparing them to shine in ways that the ordinary cannot comprehend. In this sacred solitude, your heart becomes a beacon, your faith becomes a fortress, and your spirit becomes a sanctuary for the power of heaven to dwell. Each tear shed in secret becomes a river of blessing. Each sigh of longing becomes a wind that carries your prayers to the throne of God. Each lonely night becomes a classroom where courage is taught, resilience is refined, and destiny is prepared. You are being molded into a vessel that will carry divine authority and heavenly influence. The loneliness is not a void, but a sacred chamber where faith is deepened, vision is clarified, and strength is multiplied. God is telling you, do not fear the silence, for in it you are learning to hear my voice. Do not despise the solitude, for in it you are learning my ways. Do not mourn the absence of human understanding, for in it you are discovering the power of my Spirit that will sustain you when all else fails. When you embrace this truth, your faith will rise like a mighty river, unstoppable and pure, flowing over every obstacle, every doubt, every fear, and carrying you into the fullness of the calling I have placed upon you. So embrace the silence, cherish the solitude, and surrender to the divine hand that guides you. The chosen ones walk alone, not because they are forsaken, but because God is preparing them for a purpose so magnificent, so powerful, and so eternal that the world cannot contain it. He says, in this season, I am perfecting you, refining you, and equipping you to fulfill my plan. Every lonely road you travel is a step toward glory. Every moment of hidden struggle is a step toward revelation, and every tear of faith is a step toward triumph. I am transforming your fear into faith, your doubt into vision, and your survival into destiny. The aloneness you feel is the forge in which your spirit is tempered, the quiet in which your calling is rehearsed, and the darkness in which your light is multiplied. The path may seem long, the nights may seem endless, and the silence may seem deafening, but every step is ordained. Every trial is purposeful, and every moment is sacred. God is preparing you to emerge as a beacon of hope, a vessel of authority, and a living testament of His power. The chosen ones walk alone because their journey cannot be shared, their calling cannot be diluted, and their destiny cannot be delayed. And when the time comes, when the appointed moment arrives, The world will see a soul transformed, a spirit empowered, and a faith unshakable. You will shine with a light that cannot be hidden, walk with a courage that cannot be broken, and live a life that will declare the glory of God in ways the world has never witnessed. Your solitude is sacred. Your journey is holy. Your destiny is unstoppable, and your faith, born in the quiet, will rise, soar, and triumph beyond measure. So embrace the silence, cherish the solitude, and surrender to the divine hand that guides you. For the chosen ones walk alone not because they are forsaken, but because God is preparing them for a purpose so magnificent that the world will stand in awe. And in that divine solitude, your faith will rise, your spirit will soar, and your destiny will be revealed.